Do you ever notice how quickly we move on to the next thing? We spend weeks, sometimes months waiting for something. A holiday, a deadline, exam results. I've just had that today. A house move, a birthday, big numbers, finishing a project, getting through a particularly busy period. Then it happens, and almost immediately we're asking, what's next? I caught myself doing exactly that this week. I've been home from holidays for a week. How? We've had A-level results in our house. September is already starting to creep into my thinking. Yet, we're still in August. This week's weekly edit is about something I think we could all practice just that little bit more. Not rushing through the bit we're actually living right now. By the end of the next 10 minutes, I want you to know what deserves your attention now, what you're rushing to fix, and what you're giving yourself permission to leave until a little bit later. Not a massive overhaul in life, not the complicated plans, just a little edit. Hi, I'm Narelle. I'm a home and life organizer, and this is the weekly edit. Every week, we take one part of everyday life, and I look at how we could make it feel a little easier, clearer, or simply work better for the lives we're actually living. This week, you don't need to declutter anything. You don't need to buy a single thing. You don't even really need to organize anything. You might just need 15 minutes and a coffee. Let's go. Surprisingly, I'm not doing a cuppa. It's water for me. Let me actually just inhale this. Sorry, it's going to be a bit glugging. Okay, remember to breathe. Let's crack on. First thing, what have you just finished? We've had A-level results in our house this week. Well done to anyone else that is going through that. It is full on. That, no doubt, is further from your life. But stay with me, because this isn't really about exam results at all. It's about markers. For months, there's been this thing ahead of us, right? Revision, exams, finishing school. Big, massive markers for her and for me. Then the waiting for results, right? The waiting game. Suddenly, today it's done. It's all over. Of course, the conversation moves on, doesn't it? What's next? University, what are you doing? September, all of those things. Now, what do we need? What needs organizing? What's the plan? My organizing brain could have an absolute field day. Don't get me wrong, it probably already has. However, suddenly I thought, have we generally actually stopped acknowledging what just finished? What would your equivalent be? Perhaps you've just come back from a holiday. You might have just finished a big project. You might have moved house. I had a birthday, big one, little one, changed jobs. Your children might be like me, just leaving home. You might have finished caring for somebody. Have you made a big decision you've been thinking about for months, and now there's this change? Maybe you've simply made it through a really difficult or particularly busy period. Maybe you've simply made it through a really difficult or particularly busy period. I mean, we all have them. Now, are we really good at asking what's next? Sometimes we need to stop, don't we? And just be like, what just happened? Honestly, there's just so much going on, and that hitting pause, I need it. You might need it too. So what are you in the middle of? This might be my favorite question, because the middle is where an awful lot of things happen. Not the exciting bits, not the beginning, not the big finish. The ordinary, the in-between. I've been home from holiday a bit over a week. Suitcases are away, washing is well and truly done, but that never ends. The fridge is full again. Normal life has swallowed me up, reminding me quickly. I've caught myself already thinking about September. Hang on, I'm here, right here. It's the middle of August. There's still lots of summer left, lots of things to do. And it made me think about how often we mentally abandon the things that we're actually living because we're preparing for what's to come next. Waiting for Friday, waiting for the weekend, waiting for the holiday, waiting for the what next, waiting for the children to go back to school. I don't have that this time. Waiting for work to come down until we've lost weight. Waiting until the house is sorted. Been there as well. Waiting until, what if it's this bit that counts the most? It's the middle bit, right? Life, all of that. This bit counts too. So what are you currently in the middle of that you've accidentally started treating as this kind of waiting room, maybe? And you're allowed to want what's next. That's good. That drives us. But I want to add something here, because perhaps you might be listening to me talking about rushing through summer or not rushing through summer and thinking, no, well, I can't wait for it to be till September. I want to get there. That's okay too. Maybe summer hasn't been particularly restful. You could have been working through it. There's the juggling of everything, juggling kids, juggling work, juggling family, just juggling life. You could be caring for someone. Everyone seems to be away sometimes having a fabulous time and you're not. Or simply the routine that you're doing and we're desperate to get some structure back. So is it forcing ourselves into savoring every second? But noticing those things rather than what we think we're supposed to be feeling. And that fast forward can happen without completely checking where we are now. I know I have to pull myself up so often and just be stop jumping on forward, relish this. I'm so lucky that I get the opportunity to relish this. Are you like that as well? What are you rushing to fix? Here's where I've caught myself doing this a few times this week. I pulled out a pair of trousers that I wore back in February in Morocco. They totally didn't fit. Not snug, they did not fit. I mean, I can show you a picture. I was disappointed. Actually, I was really disappointed in myself. I noticed how quickly the judgment arrived upon myself. Now, it's not about scales being the metric, right? I know my body is more than size, weight. I care about strength. I care about movement. I care about nutrition, sleep, how I feel, what my body can actually do. Knowing all of it doesn't make me immune to standing in front of my wardrobe with a pair of trousers that didn't do up and feeling slightly rubbish about myself. My instinct initially was like, right, need to sort this out. This is not okay. What do I need to cut out? What needs reducing? And then I was like, no, we can so quickly change that, can't we? But I'm trying to interrupt that reaction that I'm having. And it's not because I don't want to change anything. I need to change a few things. And I'm not pretending I'm really not very happy about the trousers not fitting. It's not that. Instead, I'm asking myself, what do I need to maybe take away? But try another question. What can I add? What can I add? Yes, those things that I want to take away will naturally fall away when I add some other things back in. And you might laugh because you saw that glass of wine to start with. I'm not actually drinking it. I've just actually been recording. Sorry. I've just been recording an advert for a wine company. I do occasionally drink. I very occasionally drink. And I have boundaries all around that generally. But when I am stressed, all the little bits of stress and distraction, my fundamentally midlife body is literally revolting against me. You may feel my pain. So before we subtract, you subtract. What's missing? What's missing for me? Well, food, a really obvious place to start. I'm home, I'm cooking again, cooking a lot from scratch again. And you might have seen on my Substack last week, I've just got some of the new beans from Marks and Spencer's. Been really impressed actually. Texture's good, price point really good. They aren't as soft as, say, some of the others, but they're convenient, they're good value. Now, that's reminded me to open the jar, just add more things into salads, throw them into whatever I'm cooking. Many of you will have seen on any of my channels, I'm a big foodie. Now, it's not about more fiber, more protein, more anything. I just need to go back and just be really simple, right? Just break it down. Stop thinking about restriction. I mean, honestly, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. Variety. I know variety is good, but within moderation, right? And what is moderation? I simply need to move, I think, in different ways. I also really need to add in more connection, more chat, because what I need to do is I really need to bring my baseline stress levels down. I generally hold on to a lot and I don't necessarily share. And I love this channel for the sharing that we can do because we're all the same, but different, aren't we? But adding in more fun, more space for fun, more breathing room, better systems. It's a different conversation. Now, this applies to our homes too. I see exactly the same thing when I'm walking through my own home, let alone other people's homes. Someone might say, I need more storage. And sometimes they absolutely do need more storage. But sometimes, once we actually look at how they're living, the cupboard isn't the answer at all. And perhaps the thing is that it's the everyday that is just going completely haywire. And it's just the little things we use every day that are completely in the wrong place. They could be storing things for a life they no longer live, or the life that we want to live. I mean, I've just had 4 boys sleep over last night and all the duvets, all the bedding is out again. Now, luckily this week I actually went through and edited everything that I had in my home so that I could really get a grip on what was going on, because I went away on holidays, left some things in a mess, and then had to come back and sort a whole stack of stuff out. Little changes to a system can make the whole space feel easier. And that's the bit of organizing I find really interesting. The answer isn't automatically more storage. It isn't automatically less storage or less things. Sometimes it's simply finding better ways for the way that we live now, the way that you live now, the way that I live now. That's the way of looking at it. Now, more and less is a tricky conversation in itself. Sometimes it simply is just finding better ways for the way that you live now. That's all we're trying to find. Then implement and make things easier. And that's my whole philosophy, that we can all live more with less. Whatever your more looks like, your less looks like, is different to mine. What can wait? That's a question I'm having to practice myself plenty of times. What can wait? Now, my word of the year was patience. And I'm starting to understand patience slightly differently for myself. It's not only about wanting for something to happen. It's allowing something to be happening without immediately turning it into the next project. Not everything needs doing today. Not every uncomfortable feeling needs an immediate solution. That transition needs just to be. It doesn't need to be packaged up. Just waiting for what's coming, but still be where I am today. And I think both of those things can. Are you like me and sort of absorbing it all or trying to process it rather than just letting it be, let it breathe, having some patience? Every week I give you a 15-minute win. It's time bound. Shrink the time, focus, crack on and get something done. And it really, really, really helps. The 15-minute win this week. Okay, this is the weekly edit. Grab a notebook if you'd like. Grab a cuppa, go for a walk, or pause and come back. You've got 4 questions here. The first question: what have I just finished? Give yourself a moment to acknowledge that before racing onwards. I've just finished my daughter's school education, being the mother alongside of that. It's huge. A-level results have just come in. It's a big moment. What you're going through will be different, so have a think about it. Question 2. What am I currently in the middle of? What are you treating as a bridge, I guess? of something else when actually it's part of life too. I think this is a tricky one. I've got a lot of limbo, things I'm wanting to proceed on, but just needing to take some time, wanting August to finish so September can happen, as opposed to just letting it unfold today. So many things. One thing, for instance, I'm in the middle of, I've got a ring that's in for repair, and I've constantly got this push-pull of the need to have it back, but allowing for it to be completed to a satisfactory level, because I've had lots of heartache about that. That's for another day. I want to give you some anecdotes so you can see how I prompt and nudge myself too, and it might help you with questions. Number 3, what am I rushing to fix? Before you start removing, restricting, or completely overhauling, what might you need to add, rejig, change, alter? The 4th question, what can wait? Not forever, just not today. Not these big delayed decisions, just not today. Then I want you to do one more thing. Choose one, not 4 new jobs, 1 job, not an enormous action plan, a tiny thing you want to do differently this week. Maybe you're going to add another couple of plants to dinner. That's an easy one. Maybe you'll leave an evening empty. Finally put the last holiday things away. Ask somebody for help. Make the appointments that you might need to do. Stop drinking wine, coffee, whilst multitasking and just hanging out, just being. Your answers will be completely different to mine. And that's the beauty of us, isn't it? Your life, your edit. My life, my edit. We can do these things alongside each other, and it definitely feels less lonely. Each week in the weekly edit, I also do a glimmer of gold. Now, the glimmer of gold comes from just stopping, pausing, seeing those beautiful things around you that you don't even know are going to unfurl in front of you, but moments that you capture that make you really happy, content, satisfied, enjoying life. They're the simple things. And why I do the glimmer of gold is to remind myself and you just to pause. See the beauty in the things that are around us. And it's not just beauty. There's beauty in ugly. There's beauty in everything. And that part of the unfurling a rose for me is also really relevant to the glimmers of gold. So your glimmer of gold this week, it's even simpler. Catch one ordinary moment before you rush past it. The morning coffee, walking the dog or just yourself, making dinner, perhaps with others, sitting outside, driving home, someone laughing in another room, or the conversation that you didn't expect to have, but notice it. We spend so much time waiting for what we think are big moments, but it's all these little things. It's not the holidays, it's not the results, it's not the promotion, it's not the moves, it's not the big celebrations, because most of our life are these little drip, 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 drip moments. And that's all this stuff in the middle. It all counts, all of it. That's this week's weekly edit. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's these little musings, this little shared connection that I love. And if you've just found me, I'd love you to subscribe and join me here for next week's weekly edit, or catch up on some of the old ones. If you enjoy the reflective side of these conversations, I also write every Friday. My newsletter looks at some of the same things I talk about here, but through a completely different lens. And I'll leave that link below if you want to go over and have a look there. If something in your home or life currently feels harder than it needs to be, you'll also find details below about working with me virtually or face-to-face. But for now, it's August. When you're watching this, could be any time. Don't rush into the next month yet. There's still here some summer certainly to live. And whenever you find this video, whatever season you are in, don't rush through the bit that you're actually living. I'll see you next Sunday.